Today we jump back in time, because 1 year after Dennis and I got together, he moved in with me, and the first thing we did was... we created the biggest animated YouTube web series in Germany! Dennis, me, and my friend Ali.
No.
Yeah, in case you're wondering, what's he talking about? Oh, welcome my very young friend. Hop on in the DeLorean and let's travel back 10 years to the time of the hashtag Tube Clash! It's 2013. Dennis and I have had a very rough first year of a long-distance relationship. As you know, I was animating a lot of TV show parodies. German Idol, I'm a Celebrity, Germany's Got Talent, and I was sick of it. It's always the same. People are made fun of and the viewers get ripped off via expensive voting hotlines. Because in the end, it's always the one person who could be best marketed that wins. Ugh, it doesn't seem fair.
No.
So why not do it better instead of just complaining? You know, I'm an anime kid and I grew up with mad overconfidence. We can do anything with the power of friendship! Yay! I'd leveled my skills long enough through TV parodies until I eventually developed a style that allowed me to work quickly and efficiently. Ali lived for filmmaking, and I knew that if I could get him on my side, well, it could really work out. Imagine this, the 10 biggest German YouTubers on an island, and the fans decide through their comments and votes who gets kicked out and what happens. Sounds awesome, right?
No.
And it's animated, and they're fighting titans and monster robots and, dying.
Okay.
2013 was a different time, guys. Almost everyone was self-made, creative minds who have found a platform on YouTube to express themselves.
So then all you do is a little bit of makeup in the nursery, right?
For the mainstream, YouTubers were considered a joke and even their fans were looked down on. We wanted to change that. A show for a new generation of heroes. Ali and I had started animating at the same time. He shared his best learnings with me, and I showed him mine.
Oh.
That way we could improve twice as fast. In addition to that, he is a trained director and knew how to stage things in an epic way. He really was my mentor when it came to storytelling, and while I focused on drama and emotions...
No.
Ali made sure that Tube Clash was also filled with lots of great action and coolness. So the idea continued to grow in our brains, and we were like, shit, we're really gonna do this! However, for Dennis, who had just moved in with me, it meant... this is going to be bigger than any of my TV parody stuff, and you know what it's like when I'm in production. Working from morning till night and we hardly get to see each other. You could always join.
Okay.
For real? In addition to his physio training, Dennis also learned how to animate completely from scratch. He was so fast and good that he soon took over almost all rig animations, while I worked on the new drawings and Ollie focused on the backgrounds and action scenes. The creation of the OG Team Tube Clash. Yeah. Then, exactly 10 years ago, the time had come. On August 22nd, 2014, Tube Clash Episode 1 went live. It was our declaration of love to YouTube Germany. The three of us used the votes and comments from the fans to write, storyboard, record, animate, composite, mix, and release a new episode every week. And all of this with a crowdfunding budget of only €8,000. Complete self-exploitation, because since this video, you know how much a main channel video actually costs us. But back then we had no idea how to do something like that, so we just kinda did it. That means 16-hour shifts every day, and Dennis even did it alongside his apprenticeship.
What? I still passed with a 1.6, okay?
So cool! And the hype was real. Awards.
Das ist jetzt der dritte Preis für Dark Victory und seine Serie Tube Clash.
A movie tour through Germany. Even a Tube Clash con. And of course, seasons 2 and 3. Tube Clash picked up everything that was relevant on YouTube at the time and poured it into a fictionalized story. This is how real feuds were played out in the cartoon arena and actual problems in the industry were addressed and discussed. And because the community determined the course of events, Tube Clash was like the first community-based opinion YouTuber. But the internet is a place where time moves faster than anywhere else. In 2013, nobody really took YouTubers seriously, whereas in 2017, 3 seasons later, things looked very different. Magazines, conventions, YouTubers were the pop stars of the modern era. This was recognized not only by large companies, but also by non-creatives who still wanted fame and cash. And over the years, YouTube became a highly commercialized place for the greedy, with villains instead of the heroes taking the top spot.
Hey, Tube Clash villain arc! Wouldn't that be a top spin-off? Never mind.
But the hype didn't leave us unscathed either. You know me. Since the Chan thing, I've become rather introverted and choose my inner circle very carefully. I'm someone who likes to stay in the background at first. There's a reason why I hide behind my animations. But Tube Clash had catapulted us as creators from zero to hero too. In no time. And being recognized all the time turned into paranoid anxiety for me. If I go outside, I might have to deal with strangers. And I don't even answer my phone. Maybe I'll just stay in here. Forever. And then Dennis said, huh?
Run away with me. Living in London for a year would be nice.
Hell yeah! This is where I wrote my first best-selling book, One Exit, and I drafted my Tube Clash antithesis. I was disillusioned by YouTube because in the last 3 years, I had witnessed what went on behind the scenes. My new series, Broadcast My Ass, showed through childlike eyes that the YouTube dream is a similarly fat lie as the American dream, with well-known German social media critics as co-writers and voices of several famous German YouTubers. In 2 seasons, we took aim at everything that happened between 2019 and 2020. From fake pranks to subscription buyers, gambling streamers, trend surfers, opinion vloggers, or mass processing at YouTube conventions. For the sake of this show, I founded my own animation studio, Dark Victory Studios. When we came back to Germany, the hype had died down and I had also confronted many of my fears therapeutically here. That in turn sparked the desire in me to work through things so that others would know, hey, I'm not alone with this. That's why I started dumping trauma on you guys 3 years ago. Here, the long-standing sexual friendship with my heterosexual buddy who head-fucked me big time. Enjoy! And since then, the channel here has become synonymous with listening to yourself in order to emotionally mature and explore, why am I actually like this? But also to create visibility for sex positivity and queer struggles, like the How We Became Boyfriends series. And that's what the new book Dennis and I wrote is about too. Secondhand Toy Friend, where 2 guys get to know each other because one of them buys a dildo from the other on Craigslist.
As you do. To cut a long story short, all you do is gay stuff, huh?
Well, I always have. Toy Friends, One Exit, Broadcast My Ass, and even Tube Clash. All my stories are built around queer storylines. And why not? There are more than enough heterosexuals telling heterosexual stories, and we had to grow up with them too, you know? But what happens to people who grow up with queer stories can be seen in the Tube Clash community. Many queer kids have found a safe space in it, and could accept themselves more easily. But even straight people who grew up with Tube Clash as kids and teens seem to be more open and accepting because they came into contact with the diversity of the world at an earlier age. Tube Clash was a project that brought together a diverse group of people from all ends of the internet as a big, cute community.
The sad ending of Tube Clash. I thought he was gonna explain why it's no longer around.
I didn't?
Man, now I'm a little angry.
Okay. I created Tube Clash as an alternative to trash shows that run and run until everyone can agree, die already! That's why it only made sense for us to stop when we were at our best. Besides, YouTube was really no longer a place for unsung heroes. Instead, it had become a completely commercialized giant machine. The basic premise for Tube Clash no longer existed. These heroes praise themselves loudly enough today and, well, fall. Over the years, reality has disenchanted some of the heroic myths of Tube Clash. And, well, maybe it's good that the term has become obsolete and we no longer put people on such a pedestal. But the Tube Clash ending we wrote does allow us to travel back if you think about it, you know?
But if we navigate our way back into a boot loop, we will be able to start all over and over again.
Into a time when both can exist together. Because there is a second version alongside the real people. An idea of them. Cartoon characters. enriched with ideals, wishes, and dreams that the community itself projected and actively inscribed into them. This is how an entire generation created their own heroes who still stand for something greater today. Friendship among outsiders, solidarity, queerness and belonging, and the certainty that you can overcome anything, no matter how great the danger or emotional chasm. All of this lives on in our memories.
Even if something good is swallowed up by time, the memory of it remains just as strong and vivid.
That means that even if the times in which we live are frightening, the hope that we will change the world for the better once again can give us new courage and drive us forward. And so, there you have it. The story of my first major animation project and what I've been doing for the past 10 years. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, maybe because a new, this time international project might be in the works, with even better, cooler animations, some awesome new music, and also... Where did that come from? Too soon, too soon! And for today, it's just Chew.